So often in Friday Night Primetime, we work on showcasing newer and faster cars such as the Dallara P217 and the IR01, along with higher series like the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge and up. Today, though, we return to where it all begins and pay homage to the newest open-wheel cars on the service. Welcome to the Formula V iRacing series here on RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime. I'm Nola Rempo with Stefan Schlachter beside me in tonight's race, with Connor and Maddock behind the cameras for tonight. So, Stefan, we return to rookie class racing, but just because we're in slow cars in a lower tier series doesn't mean that we can't still be in for some very thrilling racing.
Yeah, exactly, and the Formula V is built for exactly that. It provides great racing, compact racing, and the fighting will be fiercely.
It's worth noting as well that these cars, with their introduction, they are now officially the lowest horsepower car that you can have with the iRacing service. Just 69 horsepower for this machine is the only car on iRacing to be in double digits for its horsepower count. And it's worth noting the next car up, which is the Legends 34 Coupe, that has almost twice the power of these cars, which goes to show just how slow these cars can be and how little power they have, but boy, they can still be fun to drive as well. Laguna Seca going to be the season opener here, with Oulton Park Foster's up next in just 1 week's time. Scuba 2000 Short going to be the third race on the season, with Okoyama Short, Lime Rock Classic, and the Oulton Park Historic Island layout going to be rounding out the top half of the season.
One thing I honestly can't wait for is that Charlotte race, because the Legends RC long circuit, I've never seen anything ever go to that track, so that surely will be a very interesting race to watch.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it? Because judging by the name, that is, of course, designed for the Legends cars to be racing there, hence the name, the Legends Circuit. I have not once seen iRacing send the Legends series there. The only series I have seen gone there is maybe the Skip Barbers once, and that is it. Legends have never gone there. Skip Barber's been there once. So that is going to be a very entertaining series, no doubt, to take a look at. But we've got a brand new open-wheel car, and it's one that a lot of people have been wanting for a while. I mean, for so long, I've been seeing people asking for stuff like the Formula Ford, and the Formula V. Well, we got option number 3 here, the Formula V, the newest car on the service. I've driven a few races in it already this week, and I have to say, it is a fun car to drive. It is nice and easy to get the hang of, but it does punish you for overdriving. In fact, I was talking about you before this race as well. I mean, especially with the transmission, we're going to be seeing people going up into third and never leaving it, except maybe to go into fourth here or there. Second gear, not an option. It will send the back end around on you.
Yeah, exactly. It is tricky to be fast in. It's one of those cars which we love. It's easy to drive, but it's very hard to be fast in. And we're going to have a couple of guys in here that I know, especially Dave Gaspers, who we're going to see soon in this race. He is a Spec Racer Ford. I don't know how to say it really, but he lives inside a Spec Racer Ford, that guy. So I'm honestly gonna be very intrigued to see how he can handle this Formula V, because it is such a great car to be fast in.
Honestly, I'm going to say this as qualifying is currently underway. One of the things I really love about these cars, see that little thing just poking out on top of the roll bar? That is an onboard camera. Now, it can't just be set there, of course, it's worth noting. It can be on the other side of the car, it can even be on the top of the car. It's usually either an onboard car or a GoPro that iRacing has rendered in. It is completely random. Sometimes there's no camera there at all. I really love that detail. You never know quite what you're going to get, but that is such a unique feature about these cars that I just love to see. It's one of those really, it's a cute little detail, isn't it? To take on board from where the GoPro would traditionally be on the top of the roll bar. This is up over Connor Pearson, down through the corkscrew, and you saw just how quickly he flew through there. Now, some of these corners here where you typically would be lifting in a normal car, you can be flat out in Formula Vs. Turn 6 is a really crucial one. It's a left-hand kink that leads up to the corkscrew. You're pretty much flat out through them, these cars, unlike every other car on the surface.
Yeah, these tires provide significantly more grip than you would attribute to them, so it is a really handy car to drive. It turns really well, but as you already said, overdrive it and you're really gonna pay in lap time and in speed, more crucially, in these cars.
And it's worth noting as well that it's not just hard to drive, but it's also not the fastest thing in the world either. I mean, like I said, in the both 12-minute races, that I had here, I never once exceeded 94 miles an hour, even when I was in the draft and right up somebody's gearbox. So seeing people, going higher than 100 miles an hour in this series in general is going to be, a rare sight to see indeed. These are not the fastest cars in the world. They probably only have about 92 miles an hour of top speed in a straight line on a completely flat surface. We have a total 12-car field here this one, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you consider the fact that there was pretty much 200 people that registered for this race. 12-car grids are the maximum field size that you can have in a race like this. And we got a lot of good drivers in here, like you talked about the SCCA Spec Racer Ford driver making the jump over to race in Formula V for the first time of David Gaspers. 9,500 I rating coming into this one. So to say it's a competitive field is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, very much so. And by the way, for the guys not very accustomed to miles per hour, that's about 160 miles per hour, kilometers per hour for 100 miles per hour. So you can have a little bit of a judgment there on how slow these cars really are. And yeah, I mean, yes, we have guys like Gaspers in here and like Winner also with I think 7-something KR rating. And then we have on the lower spec, the number 12 only has 2,000 I ratings, so very widespread I rating field, but I'm still very confident we'll have great racing.
Qualifying is complete. Let's take a run down through the starting grid here quickly before we get things underway. Austin Winner on the pole. Not surprising there. I would hope to see that Austin Winner wins the first race. Jordan Kelly is going to be starting beside him on the front row. Robin Walters and David Gaspers in third and fourth, with David Waldosh and Patrick Charlton in 5th and 6th place around to the first half of the field. Connor Pearson and Dave Hodgkins in 8th and 9th. It will be Hugo Misa and Flavio Andelo in 9th and 10th. Willem Moore and Ivo Hermans rounding out 11th and 12th. Just waiting on the third place driver to grid up before we get things underway. Standing starts for the 12-minute races here in the Formula V series. So the final car grids up, and now the revs will start to build here. Waiting now for those ever-anticipated lights to go out. The revs build. Austin Winner, the smoke starts to fly to the tail boxes. And they are off to the first round of the iRacing Formula V Series. Austin Winner with a good launch, trying to run down towards turn number 1. Just behind, it's not a good get of Jordan Kelly, who's under fire. And David Gasper is trying to go up for second place, already the opening lap. Looking 3 wide, just behind your field here, coming down to the turn number the first lane. One car gets sent around. Robin Walters spinning in the middle of the pack. Everybody avoids him somehow. The number 10 car escapes with no damage at all. Still 3 wide, further at the tail of the field. The top 3 managed to break away though. Clean start other than that single car spin deep in the tail end of the field.
Yeah, only just 2 turns already done, and we have already 2 packs of 3 cars up at the front. And as you said, apart from the spinner, everybody was able to get clean and nicely through turn 1. However, Robin Walters already has a little bit of a gap after this little spin.
Up in front, Connor Pearson's under fire from Patrick Charlton. We're going to be going back to the replay here to see what happened at the race start there. We'll take a look at this one here. You'll be able to see there is the machine just behind that ended up getting spun around of Robin Walters. So unfortunate for that number 10 car. He had a bit of a rough go here. Now, was there contact or did he just downshift in a second? We talked about how much hazardous that is. That is exactly what happened. Just a little bit of a downshift there. Losing the back end is all it's going to take. No contact at all. Somehow everybody managed to avoid it. So great job of the field, to completely get around it there. They are still side by side though, with Patrick Charlton and Connor Pearson trying to fend off as Charlton tries to go down the inside in the second to the last corner. Can Connor Pearson pull it back? Oh, clips the turn there. Charlton manages to save it.
And look at how much speed Patrick lost there. Just on a mistake, and there's another mistake right from the car in front of him. So he re-overtakes Dave Hodgkins after he misses completely apex for turn number 12. So this pack continues to grow now as the mid pack of the field has caught up with the top 4 guys.
It's a very short race, only 10 minutes, an estimated 7 laps on the day so far. Hugo Misa trying to find the inside of Dave Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss, can he give him enough room to work with through the exit of turn 1? Running wide of the grass is that number 11 machine, so he's trying to keep Hugo Misa behind him desperately here. Here comes William Moore trying to throw his way out the inside as well. For turn 3, no dice there for Moore. Hugo Misa is going to manage to stick with this one here as they go into the Cooper Tires Bridge and out through this flat-out corner. Look at how close they are. To say a pass might be coming up here would definitely be an understatement.
Yeah, very much so. And I have to say a little bit, I'm still not accustomed to all the puffs of smoke these guys produce sometimes. It always makes me jump a little bit that somebody may have spun or something. So that is still a little bit of a jump scare. But once again, somebody goes wide up in front. That was most definitely Dustin. I think that was from Patrick Charlton as we have a pass for second place. Actually first, sorry.
Yeah, for the race lead, Jordan Kelly losing now to Austin Winter. Winter trying to cut back here and get back the race lead. He's going to hold it here. Jordan Kelly, can he try to fight it back? This is definitely looking good here for a lot of these guys out there at the moment. Patrick Charlton saw tumble down the timing order. He had a minor spin just at the exit of the corkscrew. We'll touch back on that probably in another minute here if this battle decides to ever give up. Jordan Kelly, though, gets a good run off of that final corner, though. He's got the overspeed to get the run on Winter down to the turn 1.
And now you can see how strong the draft is in the Formula V. Already going side by side. Jordan Kelly is with Austin Winters. However, he has to go around the outside. Also, David Gaspers has great draft from third place, but decides better off at that. And once again, these guys are side by side through turns 1 and 2, but not really losing any time to the guys behind.
Big puff of smoke that time for Jordan Kelly out of his Volkswagen 1200cc Type 3 engine. Still, now this corner is flat out, so he's going to try to get the run on your race leader, Austin Winter. Take a quick glance back into the battle for 4th and 5th, and Connor Pearson having a good run. Up for the lead, though, Jordan Kelly. Going to go down the inside of Austin Winter, make an easy pass for the lead. Winter trying to get the crossover, though, on the exit of this corner here. Coming up for turn number 6. It is going to be a crossover for Winter. Now, does Andy drive back out? Do they go side by side to the left-hand kick of 6? They're going to try to go side by side. Kelly maintains it around the outside.
Around the inside goes David Gaspers to go past into second place. Great look out there for David Gaspers to make that pass happen. And quite honestly, Jordan Kelly, he made that pass harder on himself than it actually was, because he just missed the apex so hard off turn 5 that he did re-enable a passing opportunity for Austin Winter there. But all in all, it played out for him, and also played out for David Gaspers, as he is now in second place.
And that has allowed Kelly to get a bit of a gap on these drivers as well, up to 0.4 of a second, which is pretty substantial in this Formula V, especially if Winter gets side by side with Gaspers here. And as he's right on the gearbox, that's exactly what he's going to do. Austin Winter, after losing out the lead and going down to the third, he is going to try to make this one around the outside of turn 1, but David Gaspers has the draft to work with Jordan Kelly, so Winter has to put himself back in line.
Yeah, you're really able to see quite nicely how strong the draft really is. David Gaspers quite far back on Jordan Kelly, but still managed to hold that second place over Austin Winter just because of the draft he had from Jordan Kelly. And as you can see on your scoring tower, these guys are in clear waters already compared to the other guys, because 6.5 seconds it's back to 4th place.
And there you can see the positions gained on the left side of the tower. Hermans is currently up the most with 4 positions gained on the day. He started last, he is up to 8th place at the moment. So continuing to let this race play itself out. The top 3 are some of the closest cars who got out there on the grid. The only other drivers, oh, heads up, we've had a spin. Hugo Misa, sideways and off track at the back end of the field. You can see him coming back on course now. That is at the exit of turn number 5, coming up to 6. So a bad run for him. Meanwhile, well, I'll get a pass for the lead as well in the course. We'll take a look at that just a second here. We'll get a replay of that pass as well. But here is the spin from Misa, just losing it by himself on the exit of the corner. And, well, now it's time to take a look up at this pass for the lead, which is still in progress, by the way, in live timing as well. There you can see Jordan Kelly trying to fend off David Gaspers just behind. And tell you what, this is one heck of a battle that we've been seeing so far. And just now, Kelly finally got clear out to the final corner. Austin Winter trying to follow suit. Gaspers is stuck on the right-hand side, and Austin Winter, with nowhere to go, has to just back off, and no room to go 3 wide either, down into the pit exit lane. Might try it up the middle into the braking zone, decides to think better of it. Gaspers plays himself. Kelly's wide, though, and Gaspers goes through to the lead.
What a classic move by David Gaspers. Lures his competitor into a big mistake and retakes first place like a champion indeed. David Gaspers, 9th first place, also winner with a little bit of a gap back to second place, but that's alright. He's going to be able to close that in no time. As you can see, he's already back to the back end of Jordan Kelly. These guys fighting so ferociously for this first place and still not really losing any time back to Pearson. Still, the gap is 6.2 seconds.
And at this point in time, you know, we're coming up now to just 2 laps to go. Already 2/3 of the way through this race, just showing how quickly these races go by. Only 12 minutes on the clock. Here comes Jordan Kelly, gonna fight the outside line into the corkscrew. That's a bold move from Kelly. Oh, back out of gas, contact is made. They save it. Kelly manages to maintain the position. He keeps it down to third, though, as Austin Winter goes up for the second.
Yeah, a little bit of an overbreak there by David Gaspers, locks the rear up and nearly makes contact, or made just barely contact with Jordan Kelly. Forced him wide, and Austin Winter right away takes back second place here, but this battle, I can tell you, is far from done.
Coming up to what is most likely going to be the second to last lap. Can Austin Winter retake that race lead that he got pulled for and maybe come away with the race win? Ends up sliding the line behind David Gaspers, does not go for the position. Not going to be the same news though for Jordan Kelly, who makes a huge run around the outside, picks up second, trying to go for the lead around the outside turn one, squeezes in, and more contact between the two of the wheel to wheel. Jordan Kelly manages to somehow survive it. Still has the nose in there though, trying to go for that second position. Austin Winter's not giving this one up without a fight, but finally Kelly goes through.
If they were ever on their hands, the gloves are surely off by now.
There's just not enough time to really take a look at everything around the track at the moment. This is now the closest battle out there. All the other drivers have split up as a result of, you know, minor spins and offs, or, you know, little individual battles being settled by themselves. So these guys, they're the ones that are, you know, currently really out there trying to fight as hard as they can. Now, if I was Austin Winter, I would not try to pass Jordan Kelly. I would let him use you to draft up towards David Gaspers. And look at this here. Gaspers is a sitting duck, just nowhere to go. Jordan Kelly's going to make the run around the outside line. Will it be clean this time around? Last time through, there was contact here. Gets squeezed into the apex, but manages to maintain it. Coming to the white flag here this next time by. Jordan Kelly is going to manage to maybe get the race lead. Swings me wide of the apex. Austin Winter still trying to find the space in there as well. And David Gaspers might lose out the leader. He runs wide of the grass. 3 wide for the race lead coming to the final corner, but Austin Winter backs out.
Yeah, a little bit of a unwanted pinch there by Kelly, so Winter had to get out of the throttle there again into turn number 12. But look at this, once again he's back on the back of Jordan Kelly, and this is finally the last lap of the race.
Final lap on lap number 7, as predicted at the top of the broadcast. David Gaspers trying to go around the outside, clears himself, gets back in, trying to go for the crossover. Jordan Kelly leaves the door open, so it's going to be a battle between Gaspers and Kelly here. Out for turn of 1 and the run up to 2. I think David Gaspers still has a chance to get him here. It's anybody's fight at this point. All 3 of these drivers still have an equal shot to win this race. Still side by side as Jordan Kelly tries to fight back against David Gaspers. Here comes Austin Winter, looking for the inside line, squeezes up, nearly runs into the side of David Gaspers. Jordan Kelly is forced on the defense here, coming up for the left-hander of turn 6. He's going to compromise his own line with this on entry. David Gaspers gets a run. Oh, look out! Kelly loses it! Still trying to save it. Hang on to it, Kelly! He keeps it steady! David Gaspers going to have the massive run of steam up to the course as a result. Austin Winter still waiting in the wings. The 1 and the 3 side by side. Jordan Kelly keeps the inside line for the course. Contact! Kelly gets forced out. This time fully onto the gravel. He's going to be out of the fight for the race win. It is between Austin Winter and David Gaspers coming to the final series of corners here. 1 and the 2, 2 for the 1. Can he find any way through? 1 more corner to get it done. Austin Winter is able to get a better line after the corner. David Gaspers, nothing doing. Can Austin Winter try to find the inside? He's got to get a better run off of the final corner. It's going to be a drafted run down to the start-finish line. Does Austin Winter have what it takes? I don't think he will. He's continuing to close, but it's not enough. David Gaspers wins the season opener from Laguna, Seca, and the WeatherTech Raceway. What a fight for the race win.
Wow, Wow, David Gaspers wins it here at Laguna Seca, with winner only getting a second place. But Kelly, how unlucky can you be? Just a slight touch through the corkscrew, and it was enough to unsettle his car so much that he ran into the gravel on the outside. But what a fight from these guys. Great respect as well. This just lines it up for a great season to come.
And there is the off that Jordan Kelly had that caused him to sacrifice the race win. He was doing so well. He had a good shot. Realistically, though, he lost it in turn 6. Could not hang on. And unfortunately, he just caught himself out as he tried to get the run over on David Gaspers. Out through the final corner. A bit of a touch there as well. He just pinched Gaspers in too much. And Gaspers just, he's not where he's supposed to go. There's not a lot he can do with that. There's the only spot he can go, and that is into the side of Jordan Kelly's car.
Yeah, pretty much. There was just not enough room for David Gaspers to really make this second corner happen. Just a little bit of a too tight of a pinch there from Jordan Kelly. So, yeah, it's just a racing incident. Stuff like that happens all the time. So, just chin up, and next race is coming next week already.
Oh boy, it's unfortunate it was over all too quickly, but here we go to the post-race results. David Gaspers, the winner, but only just 1/10 of a second behind Austin Winter, who just could not get the run he needed out of that final corner. Jordan Kelly comes home in 3rd with Connor Pearson in 4th, David Waldock in the 5th position. Ivo Hermans is in 6th place with Robin Walters in 7th. Flavio Endalo in 8th with William Moore in 9th. Dave Hotchkiss in 10th. With Hugo Misa and Patrick Charlton to round out the 12-car field. Charlton finishing 2 laps down, the only driver to not finish the race. Fastest lap set by Austin Winter, lap number 2. So Austin Winter won one record tonight, and that was, of course, the fastest lap of the race. So, well, try saying that 5 times fast, but I have to say, Stefan, it was over way too quickly. I wish we could have seen that for at least another, even 3 minutes or so would be enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes or even longer, it doesn't matter. 18 minutes as well, 30-minute race. I don't think this car would ever get boring at any given track or even any given length. Even just 1 lap would already be chaotic enough for a total broadcast that we do here on Friday Night Prime. But I think this race most definitely showed what the Formula V is capable of. It has the capability to deliver great racing, even though it only has 69 horsepower. So, in reality, this car is going to be great wherever you throw it at.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the perfect example that you don't need a car that's fast to have a good race. Arguably, some of the better racing you can see on iRacing is in these slower cars. I mean, this new Formula V is the perfect way to show it. This was honestly the easiest possible way we could have shown that this is a good car to drive. And it's worth noting, this is probably going to be one of the duller races we see throughout the course of the season, just for the nature of the track and how long it is. All the other tracks, the excitement there is going to come into the fact that they are so short. We have a lot of repeat schedules out here as well. I'm going to take a look down the schedule here. I mean, we're going to Oulton Park twice. Once the fastest layout, once at the Island Historic with the longest trail of the season. We're going to Lime Rock Park twice. Once for the classic layout and one for the chicanes. We're going to Tsukuba twice. Once for the 2000 short layout, one for 2000 full. We're going to Summit Point twice. Once for the full circuit, once for the Jefferson circuit. And then, of course, you got all the individual races in there as well. You got Okayama that we're going to. We're going to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to Orem Park for the season finale, which I can't remember the last time I've seen Orem Park on a schedule. But that goes to show you, like, just how insane this schedule is. There are a lot of very, very entertaining races coming on up here in just a very short order. And it's going to be something to really behold. I mean, these cars, I have a feeling these are the new hot commodity on the service at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know what? Looking at this schedule, the one real dark horse we have in this season is that last round at Orem Park, being the south layout. Now, if you don't know Orem Park, the north layout, that would be the 8, that is just the bridge, and the south layout is everything past that. So there's a little bit of a shortcut just before you have that kink into turn 1. So it is a little bit of a interesting dynamic you're going to have there at Orem Park, because it is pretty much a draft track 95% of the track, and the rest is just the 2 braking zones for the last turn and the first turn.
Oh, absolutely. There is going to be so much action coming on up as well. I mean, there are 2 things that I wish for this series, and hopefully we could maybe cover the series again in the future if these things are met. 1, the races, maybe extend about 15, 20 minutes or so. That would mean we have all this action to cover for even longer, making it even better therefore. 2, a few more cars in the field size. You can't go wrong with that.
No.
I mean, so many good things, though, came from this race. Only 12 cars, only 12 minutes. And look at what we got. I mean, one of the best races we've seen in the Rookie Series in a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I would even say it's the best Rookie race I've ever seen. And that's just the first race I've ever seen of the Formula V. So, really, you need to buy some popcorn next time around, because this is going to get to a very great season.
It will be a very, very great season indeed, and we cannot wait to cover the next roundup at the Okoyama International Circuit. But for now, from the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, that is going to be all the time that we are going to have for one night. So, thank you everybody so much for taking the time to join us on the 3rd and final open wheel broadcast of the night. For the iRacing Formula 3 series, I've been Ola Rempo with Stefan Schlackia joining me in the commentary box, and Connery Maddock down behind the cameras for the entirety of today's race. It has been a thrilling 12 minutes, and no doubt it is bound to be an extremely thrilling 12 minutes in just 1 week's time. Thank you for coming on out for RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime. We'll see you all in 7 days.